Hey, what's going on, weavers? Tim here again, and this simple paracord setup can make wearing a mask much more comfortable on your ears. This is a paracord mask ear saver. This awesome little piece and design idea comes from Herb, who's a friend and major supporter of the channel. I'll have his Instagram profile linked below. So I know a lot of us are wearing masks these days, and these simple paracord ear savers can really make that much more comfortable. That being said, let's get into it. To make this paracord ear saver, I'm using 1 length of goldenrod and 2 lengths of royal blue. The length of the main piece will vary depending on your own personal needs. To start this off, I'll be using my goldenrod strand, and I'm going to find the midpoint and measure out about a 5-inch section. From there, with the midpoint pointing towards me and the 2 terminal ends up top, I'm going to tie a cobra knot by taking the right strand over the 2 core strands. Then put the left strand over the opposite strand and go behind the core strands and out the crook on the right. I'm going to then cinch up my knot slightly, but I'll have to tie another knot before I can fully tighten it. Then I'll continue with the same lead strand over the core from the left to the right. Then the right side cord goes over top that one, behind the core and out the crook on the opposite side. From here, you're going to continue tying cobra knots all the way down the core strands to the very bottom. And before I continue weaving down to the bottom, I'm just going to quickly double check the length of my strands just to make sure they haven't changed too much after the first 2 knots. I've woven my way down and I'm going to stop at the very bottom. Make sure you pull the last knot tight. And I'm going to snip and singe the excess cords as usual by cutting the excess off, melting the ends, and pressing down on them with my knotter's tool. So with the main piece done, I'm now going to use my blue strands to tie a diamond knot. With the midpoint around my middle finger, I'm going to make a counterclockwise loop with the right strand and lay it over the other strand. Then with the opposite strand, I'm going to go counterclockwise and underneath the right strand, and then go under the section in the middle of the loop to form our carrick's bend. From there, I'm going to have the right side strand go counterclockwise past the base strand and then through the opening in the middle. Same with the other side, go counterclockwise past the base strand and then through the middle. Then I'm going to gather the 2 terminal ends and pull to tighten the knot. So you're going to have to do this twice, obviously. Next, what I need to do is close the loop at the very top of the diamond knot. I'm going to do this by cinching the slack out of the knot from the top to the bottom. There's 1 strand on each side of the knot that corresponds to the top loop, and I'm just going to work the slack out to the terminal ends. Also try to do this somewhat equally on both sides. A knotter's tool or fid is great for working the slack through these diamond knots, but if not, you can just use your fingers. When you're done, you should have your diamond knot looking thusly with 2 terminal ends coming out of it. Now we're going to attach our diamond knots to the cobra knot section with a fid. I'm going to feed the terminal ends of the diamond knot through the cobra knots on the end. You may have to adjust the placement of these knots, so definitely check before snipping the excess. I used a shorter piece of cord for my second knot to save a bit, but it was a bit harder to get through with my fids, so I had to improvise a bit with some hemostats. So once I've got both diamond knots attached and I verified that the sizing is right, I'm going to clip off the excess strands with my scissors, melt with my lighter, and press down with the knotter's tool. Pressing down on the melted ends is very important in this case, as it causes the melted cord to mushroom out and hold the diamond knots in place. And there we have it, a Paracord mask ear saver that will make your mask wearing much more comfortable. This is especially great for those in the health industry, as many of you are wearing masks for extended periods of time, which could irritate your ears. You could even add extra diamond knots on a single piece that would make the ear saver adjustable and give you more sizing options on how tight you want the mask. So I hope some of you have found this useful and will use it to stay safe out there during these crazy times. That being said, a huge thank you to all my Patreon supporters. If you want access to exclusive tutorials as well as our Discord server, feel free to check out my Patreon page, link in the video cards as well as down below. You can join for as little as $3 a month. You can also support this channel by liking the video and commenting. Also feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to check out what I have to offer on the rest of my channel.